answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft on AM 560. The Answer.
We talked about this a bit earlier, but I want to get our next guest's reaction to it. First, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, the statements that he made upon the news that Ayatollah Khomeini had been killed.
The first big strike of the war killed the Ayatollah, the head of a religion, Shia Islam. Why would we kill that guy? Killing him will have what effect? 60 seconds, predict. Oh, maybe it will unite the country on religious grounds and make the opposition to the United States and Israel stronger. Maybe it's also a kind of point of no return after which you can't really negotiate your way out. You killed our religious leader. When was the last time America killed a religious leader? We haven't killed any religious leaders, at least not openly, because we don't want to start religious wars, because they're hard to fight and very hard to resolve. And how is that good for us? How is that good for our access to LNG and oil from the Gulf? Tell me, Ben Shapiro, can you find the Gulf on a map? No.
Yeah, well, that prediction really hasn't borne out, has it? Both with respect to the Iranian population unifying to fight a religious war that isn't currently being fought. Except by the totalitarian regime. And with respect to, isolating or generating more opposition to the combined U.S.-Israeli effort, we see the Gulf states still participating. In point of fact, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi was complaining about the strikes on Karg Island this past weekend being launched, at least in part, from the UAE. So, again, we've heard Tucker Carlson and others predict World War III, well, about 9 months ago when the U.S. bombed Israeli nuclear weaponization sites. And we're hearing the same sort of rhetoric, well, really from the first couple of days of this campaign, which is only 2 weeks in. And it really just doesn't reflect any of the dynamics that we understand to be true. But I did want to give our next guest an opportunity to comment on that more fully, because Tucker Carlson's views and Megyn Kelly's and others do represent a certain segment of so-called conservative thought in the United States and the West. Elad Strohmayer is the Consul General to Israel, Consul General of Israel to the Midwest. He joins us now. Consul General Strohmayer, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan, and everyone.
Good morning. So, your response to Tucker Carlson's commentary there.
Tucker Carlson is a known anti-Semite that constantly speaks against Israel. And I don't take what he says much seriously, but we should be very, very careful when we listen to him, because I don't know who stands behind of what he's saying and who's telling him to say the things that he's saying. And I think you said it very clearly. He warned all these alarms and raised all these alarms that we're going to lead to World War III. And look where we are. We're in significant breakthrough. The Iranian regime is crumbling and struggling. It's not over yet. They're still existing. There's still a chain of command. They're struggling very much. And you said it as well. We see the coalition working together. The Iranian people despise this regime. The challenge that we're facing is that they're not unified because they have fractions within the opposition, but the majority of Iranian people despise this regime and they want to see it over. And we're going to finish the job. I'm very confident that we're going to finish the job, and we're going to make the Middle East, Israel, and the United States much safer.
Where does popular support for this effort stand with the Israeli people, and what do you think the general level of patience is with this campaign?
I would say that majority of Israelis support this military operation. And if you go right now to Israel and start talking to people, even if you're going to talk to people from the opposition, people who oppose Prime Minister Netanyahu, people who don't support him, people who might even question his motives on it, they still support the military operation because they know that this is the right thing to do, because they know that we need to eliminate the Iranian threat on Israel, because it's not just the direct Iranian threat. We see it right now in Lebanon. They're using Hezbollah as an arm of the regime to go against Israel. They used it with Hamas on October 7th against Israel. So there is a full understanding in Israel that this regime needs to cease from exist. I think there is an overall consensus, not just in Israel, there is an understanding in the Gulf countries. You said it when you gave the examples of how the Gulf countries are so mad at Iran, the Iranian regime, for attacking them, and they understand that this threat needs to be eliminated. And I hope that people here in the United States will understand as well. I understand that the perception is that Iran is far away, so it has nothing to do with people here in the United States. I respect that this is the perception. But the reality is that Iran directly was in charge of the deaths of thousands of Americans over the course of the past 47 years. And Iran developed intercontinental ballistic missiles program with missiles that could reach to the United States. And we see them launching their missiles at Europe, at the UAE, at the Gulf countries, at Israel. They would have launched it in the United States as well. So this is a threat, an imminent threat to the United States.
What kind of damage has Iran been able to inflict on Iran and its proxies, Hezbollah, and others, been able to inflict on Israel thus far?
I don't want to give you a full picture because I don't want to reveal to our enemies exactly what their successful or unsuccessful are. But I would tell you this, while we're targeting military targets over there, regime targets, and launchers and nuclear facilities, they're targeting civilian infrastructure in Israel. So we've seen some damage, some residential buildings that have been hit. Sometimes it was as a result of a direct hit of a missile, sometimes because of interceptors, shrapnel that fell. So we've seen some damage, but it's not as extensive as people might have thought it would be. And we also need to be very careful. I see that on social media, and it comes out of Iran. There is propaganda being spread out that Tel Aviv is burning, Jerusalem is burning. There was even a stupid rumor that the prime minister was killed, which is so on my French bogus. And this is misinformation that is being spread out there. Israel is functioning. Everything is fine. Yes, there are hits by Iranian rockets and Hezbollah rockets, but the country keeps moving, and our air defense systems are very, very good protecting our people.
Yeah, I mean, the information campaign that the Iranian regime is running is something, and so much so that to your point about the assertion that Bibi had been killed, he did this sort of like almost lighthearted proof of life video.
Yeah, because we need to deal with this misinformation campaign. And you know what? It goes to your first question. People like Tucker Carlson are the ones that are helping with all these misinformation campaign against Israel. We need to stop about that. We need to look at the facts. We need to talk to people on the ground and look at what's going on and look at the facts. And yes, it's difficult right now in Israel. I speak daily with my family. They're in shelters. There's missiles being shot at Israel. But it's not in the level that it was back June, and it's not in the level that we even anticipated right now that it will be. It's difficult, but we will prevail, and Israel is functioning.
And the view there is similar to President Trump's view, then, that this campaign is ahead of schedule?
Yes, that's the view of our estimates from our defense officials and people on the ground in Israel. We're ahead of schedule. We're getting the job done, and we're going to finish the job because we have to. And this is where the United States and Israel were united with the understanding that we need to prevent from Iran to continue its pursuit of nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles program, and threatening the Middle East.
I mentioned you're the Consul General of Israel to the Midwest, so I wanted to give you an opportunity to comment on something we were just talking about with former FBI criminal profiler Jim Fitzgerald the previous hour, and that is, of course, the attack on the synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan, and the need to harden targets like Jewish places of worship. I mean, it was, thank goodness there was a trained security guard there to deal with that threat, that attack.
Definitely. I'm based in Chicago, and immediately when I learned about the attack, I was in touch with the Jewish community over there in Michigan. And over the weekend, I went there and I joined them on Shabbat services, Friday night services, to show my support to the Jewish community in Michigan. It was very important. It is unheard of that people that go to their house of worship, and especially Jewish people that they go to synagogues, don't feel safe, and we need to heighten security. It's just unheard of, and that's blatant terrorist, anti-Semitic attack against Jews, and that's unacceptable, and we need to fight that. I went there to Michigan to express my support, to show my support with the community, and we need to remind everybody that when hate speech is being normalized online, it leads to radical violence like we've seen. And this is exactly what happened in Michigan. This is what happened in many other houses of worship here in the United States and in Europe, and that needs to stop.
Was it the Tree of Life synagogue massacre back, that's got to be 8 years now, right? Was that what triggered more Jewish synagogues to harden themselves as a target, to higher security, or is this something that has been in process for some time?
I think it was in process for some time. Unfortunately, anti-Semitism is the oldest hatred in the book, always existed, and I would argue always will exist. We just need to bring it back to its normal size. Right now, we see a spike in anti-Semitic incidents. We saw that directly after October 7th with the rise of anti-Semitic rhetoric and incidents towards Jewish targets. It was always the case that synagogues needed to have security, but definitely after the Tree of Life and after October 7th, these security measures have been increased. And I think we can all agree that it shouldn't be like that. People need to be safe when they go to prayer. And we need to remember that in Temple Israel in Michigan, it was not only just a synagogue, it was a day school. There were more than 100 kindergarten children there, and a horrible, horrible disaster was prevented thanks to the bravery of the law enforcement and the security of the people in the synagogue. I went to visit the head of security who was injured when he was in the hospital, and I told him, "You're a hero. You're a hero that you saved hundreds of lives of the kids and staff that were there." And unfortunately, that's our reality.
Yeah, absolutely. Elad Strohmayer, he is the Consul General of Israel to the Midwest. Elad, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Dan.
And he joined us on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been